But now here's Gabby Logan with final score.
Welcome to the best Premier League lineup on a Saturday so far in 2011. It's been a busy and brilliant afternoon right down the divisions, as the dynamic duo Crooks and Bright will attest just as soon as I've brought you up to speed with the details of all the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. Let's check the scorelines first then. And there was a lunchtime kickoff, of course, at Molineux. You can see at the bottom there, Liverpool got a 3-0 win there. But playing right now, it's Arsenal 2, Wigan 0. Robin van Persie scored in each half, but then missed a penalty after Wigan's Gary Caldwell was sent off. Blackpool 0, Sunderland 2. Who needs Darren Bent? Sunderland ahead through Kieran Richardson's first half brace, his first goals of the season. Everton 0, West Ham 1. Avram Grant's a miracle worker. His West Ham side could be moving out of the relegation zone, courtesy of Jonathan Spector's goal. It's Fulham 2, Stoke 0. Clint Dempsey's double putting Fulham in control at Craven Cottage. And Manchester United 4, Birmingham 0. A third hat-trick of the season for Dimitar Berbatov for United, and Ryan Giggs also on the score sheet at 37 years young. And Newcastle United 1-0 at the moment against Tottenham Hotspur. Colaccini's long-range strike denting Tottenham's title hopes for now. But let's head around the grounds and get the full details. First of all, let's go to Damien Johnson at Old Trafford.
Yeah, a hat-trick from Dimitar Berbatov to make it 18 for the season is the headline. United completely dominant and ahead inside 2 minutes through Berbatov's close-range header. He added a second and Ryan Giggs swept in the third before the break. Berbatov's been unplayable and Giggs not far behind him. The Bulgarian grabbed his third after the break. There have been plenty of other chances. Rooney headed wide from 2 yards out when he should have scored. And Birmingham have offered very little, although Keith Fahey missed an absolute sitter a few moments ago. It's academic, really. United in control, 4-0.
Damien, thank you very much. There's a stat. When Robin van Persie starts, Arsenal win 7 times before today this season. Roger Johnson, it looks like it's going to be 8.
It does. It's Arsenal 2, Wigan 0, and Van Persie has got both the goals, one in either half of a match which the home side have largely dominated. On both occasions, he escaped his marker to finish emphatically past Ali Al-Habsi. Van Persie also missed a penalty moments ago after Gary Caldwell was sent off for tripping Fabregas. The goals aside, Wigan's goalkeeper Al-Habsi has been the outstanding performer. In the first half, he made half a dozen splendid saves, 3 in particular from Van Persie, Fabregas and Nasri were jaw-dropping. Wigan have barely threatened. Now they're down to 10 men, and even with a missed penalty, Arsenal lead here 2-0.
Newcastle United looking for their 5th consecutive win at St James's Park over Tottenham. Steve Sutton's there for us.
It's still going Newcastle's way, Gabby. Newcastle 1, Spurs 0. Fabrizio Colaccini with an absolute net buster of a goal from just on the edge of the box into the far bottom corner of the net. That came just before the hour. We could have had a couple of goals at either end since then. Aaron Lennon forcing a save from Steve Harper at the foot of a post. And just moments ago, Shola Amiobi with a curling shot from just outside the box and a great diving save from Colaccini in the Spurs goal. Newcastle 1, Spurs 0.
Before we move on to the other grounds, let's go back to Old Trafford because there's another goal for Damien Johnson to tell us about.
It's gone to Manchester United and it's gone to Nani. Picked the ball up on the right, cut inside, left-footed, fired low past Foster, and United cruising 5-0 now.
What a Birmingham. What can they do for the next 15 minutes?
Well, we said at half-time they were in dire straits. A fantastic strike from Nani. I think he played very well the first half. He created numerous opportunities. I think now he's fulfilling his potential. He's taken his time to get there because obviously when Cristiano Ronaldo came over, it happened for him a little bit quicker. But Nani's got, I think, very similar ability, and I think he's proving that now.
It looks to me as though, Berbatov has been good, Birmingham woeful.
OK, let's check in with Steve Sutton at St James's Park.
Yes, Gabby, Newcastle having to make a change. Danny Guthrie, who's had a good game for them, he's limped off. He's been replaced by James Perch. That's Newcastle's second substitution this half. Peter Lovenkrands came on for Leon Best earlier on, and Lovenkrands with a decent effort earlier on as well, put through the middle by Kevin Nolan, but the shot blocked by Colaccini. So Newcastle just shuffling the pack a little bit, but they lead by Colaccini's goal. Newcastle 1, Spurs 0.
Let's go to Goodison Park. 1-0 to West Ham at the moment. How are Everton responding, Richard Askham?
They're trying to respond, Gabby, but this has been a determined display from West Ham and far from a fluent one overall from Everton. The home side haven't been able to get Mikel Arteta and Leon Osman on the ball often enough. By contrast, the returning Scott Parker alongside Mark Noble has given the Hammers a real base to work from, a base that was set in the first half when a well-worked team move ended in Jonathan Spector firing them into the lead as Everton just have a corner which is cleared away. Despite that sort of pressure this half, David Moyes' side haven't forced Rob Green into a single save in anger.
Thank you. Just tell you that Sven's Leicester, 4-2 now. They're up at the Walker Stadium against Millwall. Let's head to Bloomfield Road, though. Sunderland beaten by Blackpool in the reverse fixture just last month. But James Mason, it looks like they're going to get revenge today, the Black Cats.
Yes, and by the exact scoreline, 2-0 at the moment as we have a break in play. Blackpool 0, Sunderland 2, as you say, Gabby. 2 first-half goals from Kieran Richardson have put Steve Bruce's men in a commanding position here and on their way to their 3rd away win of the season. And with leading goal scorer Darren Bent gone, Richardson proved the unlikely marksman in the first half, first connecting with an Asamoah Gyan pass to fire his first of the season before grabbing his second with a first-time shot from Steve Malbrank's pass, also on the left. Blackpool have looked very exposed at the back. They've looked lacklustre up front, losing top scorer DJ Campbell before kick-off, and the highly rated Charlie Adams being their only bright spark, twice forcing Craig Gordon into saves. But with not long left, it's Blackpool 0, Sunderland 2.
There's a bit of a touchline fracas going on there.
Ian Holloway is getting very animated on the touchline, and Titus Bramble's getting involved. Now, Holloway, to be fair, seems to be a little bit intimidating. He shouldn't be doing this. He's in the technical area, but he's actually behaving in a way I think that's intimidating.
I've got to tell you, there's a goal at Goodison Park. We've got to go there now. Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, it's an equaliser for Everton. Billy Eletdinoff, the scorer, a tremendous strike, edge of the box, right-footed. He is left-footed, remember, smacked it into the bottom corner beyond Rob Green. The West Ham defence failed to deal with the danger after a long ball in from Philip Neville. Fellaini got up, the ball fell to Billy Eletdinoff, and he fired it past Rob Green and into the bottom corner. Everton 1, West Ham 1.
Oh, how it changes. It's the roll of a dice, isn't it? West Ham, they were out the bottom 3. That result and the way things are around them means they're back rock bottom again.
But, Everton, the draw specialists, aren't they? If they get a draw out of this will be 12 draws this season. Billy Eletdinoff...
it's a tough one to say, that,
isn't it?
Let's just
Billy
call it Billy.
He good header down from Fellaini, and he struck it really well on the edge of the 18-yard box. You have to say West Ham have done ever so well today, but it's across the 90 minutes and lack of concentration.
They are the draw specialists. Fulham used to be the draw specialists, but they're winning at the moment at Craven Cottage. But we all thought the pantomime season was behind us, Jackie Oatley. It's all been a little bit strange there, the atmosphere this afternoon.
It has. The fans coming into this game were in a dreadful mood as Danny Murphy fires one wide from outside the penalty area. Just came to boo the pantomime villains from the opposite side. Bearing in mind there was a lot of bad blood between the two sides coming into the match. They've already played each other twice this season, and Danny Murphy made those comments about the win-at-all-cost tactics of Stoke City. Well, Fulham are 2 goals to the good thanks to Clint Dempsey with both of them. The first a tap-in after fine work by Andy Johnson in the first half, and the second in the second half from the penalty spot after his fine control from Danny Murphy's long pass led to Shawcross manhandling him inside the box. A red card for Shawcross was the right decision. Earlier on, Duff hit the bar for Fulham. Kenwyn Jones hit the post for Stoke, and Jones has also headed over the bar from Delap's throw-in just a couple of minutes ago. Stoke have brought on Carew for his debut, and Fulham have brought on Sidwell for his debut. Fulham 2, Stoke 0.
OK, there's a goal at the Majeski. Mark Bishop.
It's Reading 1, Hull City 1, Gabby, and it's come from a penalty to Reading. Brad Guzan, the American standing keeper, upending Shane Long. Inhart stepped up, blasted the ball into the top right-hand corner. All this after Hart had left the ball for Federici with a cross coming in from Corran. Both Federici and Hart leaving the ball to one another, and substitute for Hull, Corey Evans, couldn't believe his luck, stabbing the ball into an empty net. Game on, 1-1.
Let's go to Fratton Park. Tony Husband, floodlight failure, I'm hearing.
Yes, Gabby, and it's halted what's been a really good game in the Championship. 2-2 between Portsmouth and Leeds, a quarter of an hour left to play, and just a few moments ago, the floodlights failed completely. Now, earlier in the second half, there had been a partial failure of power around the ground and indeed around the surrounding area of Fratton Park. Now the lights have gone out completely, and the referee, Andrew Taylor, has stopped the game. The players haven't come off the field just yet, though. They're hanging on, waiting to see what's going to happen. But for my money, to be honest, if they just get on and play these last 15 minutes, they'll probably do so in natural light. But the longer they delay, the more chance there is that they won't finish it, because obviously the light will fade. At the moment, though, 2-2, match stop with a quarter of an hour to go.
Oh, you just don't want that, do you? As a player, I imagine, a long journey down to the south coast as well. If you've got to go back and replay it at some point.
At any time as well, and Leeds have come back from behind, haven't they? To make it 2-2. And you might feel the momentum's with you, having scored that last goal, so...
Get the torches out. Let's get to Cardiff now. Jason Mohammed, Watford were getting right back into this game. Any signs of an equaliser?
Well, it's all Cardiff at the moment. 5 goals, 1 disallowed. Watford hitting the post. These two teams provide entertainment and thrills when they meet. Big appeal for a Cardiff City penalty. Just then, Watford beat City 4-1 at Vicarage Road over Christmas, Gabby. They were 3-0 down on 31 minutes today. Craig Bellamy, Michael Chopra and Jay Bothroyd causing mayhem. But Malky Mackay's side, chasing their 7th consecutive league win, have been terrific. Will Buckley has scored one, had an acrobatic backheeled goal ruled out for offside, and Marvin Sordell's 13th of the season created a very jittery, nervous Cardiff City Stadium. 10 minutes to go. What a cracking game here, 3-2.
Jason, thank you very much. And the irony is that it's not going so well for Swansea at Oakwell, Harry Gratian, which means that the two South Wales sides, arch rivals, would swap places from 2nd to 3rd. Swansea would go.
Yes, that will go down really well with the Swansea fans, won't it? They've not played well, to be honest, Gabby. They've been indifferent. Yes, they've created a couple of chances in the last 15 minutes or so. Mark Gower brought a good save from Luke Steele, and Scott Sinclair had a chance just a few minutes ago. But although there's a bit more consistency in their pattern of play, there's still no real firepower up front for Swansea. They trail 1-0.
And let's check in with Alan Biggs at Bramall Lane.
Yeah, Sheffield United 1, Norwich City 1. That's a really full-blooded game, Gabby, at Bramall Lane. Both the goals in the space of 5 minutes in this second half. I speak now as Norwich have a corner, looking to get back in the lead. It was from a corner which was disputed that they scored the first goal. They've now scored a second goal, and it's Andrew Crofts with a volley from the edge of the area. He was the man who put Norwich in front from that disputed corner earlier in the half. There was also protests about a foul on the United keeper Simonson. Following that, Ched Evans equalised, a richly deserved equaliser for the home side with a shot on the turn. But now Andrew Crofts, with his second of the game, has made it Sheffield United 1, Norwich City 2.
OK, let's go to the Emirates. Is this the second hat-trick of the day, Roger Johnson?
Sorry, Gabby, I missed that. I heard you say something about Match of the Day. It'll be worth watching, that's for sure, on Match of the Day at 10:30. It's 3-0 now to Arsenal. Robin van Persie, who's now being substituted, has just completed his hat-trick. Theo Walcott made it for him on the left-hand side of the 6-yard box, just held the ball up, laid it back, and Van Persie slammed it in at the near post past Al-Habsi, who did get a hand to it. Van Persie gets a standing ovation as he comes off. He's missed a penalty as well. Arsenal have the points, and they have 3 goals to boot. Arsenal 3, Wigan 0.
Roger, thank you. Let's go to Bloomfield Road. A late comeback, James Mason.
Possibly so, Gabby. Yes, Blackpool have got a goal back. You can probably hear the Blackpool fans singing around, and it's their talisman, Charlie Adam, who scored from the penalty spot, his 5th goal of the season, and boy, did he enjoy scoring that. It's lifted Bloomfield Road. They've got a chance to get something out of this game. Blackpool 1, Sunderland 2.
Let's go back to Jason Mohammed. This is a cracker.
Surely the Watford recovery is over now. The unlikely Cardiff City hero is the substitute centre-half, Gabor Gyepes, the Hungarian international central defender. Watford didn't clear a cross from J. Emmanuel Thomas. Gyepes slid in 4-2.
Let's go talk about the penalty, first of all, at Bloomfield Road. Was it fairly awarded?
I didn't think it was.
Garth, I didn't see it.
I didn't think it was. I think Onura literally lets him in, opens the door and lets in Varney, and Varney takes advantage and just goes, and the referee gives the penalty. In my view, watch the match of the day, give your verdict.
I know you didn't see it, but you can disagree with it.
I totally disagree. I thought it was a penalty. But it's a goal anyway. I made it
from what you've seen, though,
it's a goal.
OK, let's go to Goodison Park. A goal, Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, it is a second goal for West Ham United. Freddie Picquion, joined by A host of other West Ham United players is on the far side celebrating with the West Ham fans. It was a terrific ball in from Wayne Bridge, and the striker met it on the head, and it went beyond Tim Howard and into the corner, and West Ham lead by 2-1.
And I know you've become a happy hammer all of a sudden today.
Let no one tell you that these players, these West Ham players, aren't playing for Avram Grant. Watch tonight the players respond to the goal. They've gone 1-0, they got 1-0 up.
Garth.
The equaliser. Piquion gets the, well, I think is the winner, and they all go to Avram Grant.
Piquion's just got sent off because he removed his shirt and he's already been booked after scoring the goal.
Oh.
Now they've got a battle.
now they're down to 10 men. Those
3 points, if they can get 3 points here, it's absolutely critical. They've got the 2-1 up now. They've got to hang in with 10 men. They've played brilliant this 90 minutes.
In the crowd.
I'll tell you what he did. Yeah, he went in the crowd, over-celebrated. Obviously, they've gone 1-0 up, 1-1. Everton come back. He's just scored what he feels may be the winner. He's jumped over the barrier, gone into the away crowd, and the referees had no option but to give him another yellow.
But I think he does have an option. He does have an option. He's just scored what could be the winner in an incredible week at West Ham.
I understand that, but that's the laws of the game, and he's broken them. So he's got to be punished.
Well, can't the referee show some discretion?
What happens if next week somebody does it and gets booked?
Fine, but can't the referee show some discretion in this game?
Oh,
every game's different.
Be responsible as a player.
Well, we can interpret the game however he wants to. I think it's such a shame.
OK, let's go to Fratton Park. Tony Husband on Light Watch.
Yes, and the lights are back on now, Gabby, so the game's restarted and Leeds have come straight down the other end and forced a corner. But most of the field now illuminated again. We had about a 7-minute delay due to that floodlight failure, which followed an earlier partial power failure around Fratton Park. Good game, 2-2 the score. Joel Ward putting Portsmouth in front before half-time, but then Leeds coming back through Becchio 2 minutes into the second half. Portsmouth further in front when Utaka shrugged off the attention to the Leeds defenders to put them back in front. But Sommer, 3 minutes later, on as a substitute, levelled for Leeds. Should be a great finish, and we still have 13.5 minutes to play.
Well, you can just see that Preston North End have got an equaliser. So Paul Addison at the Riverside, tell us all about it.
Yes, Gabby, and Borough were cruising at the time the equaliser came. They went into the lead through their captain, Matthew Bates, with a stunning goal on 71 minutes. He brought the ball right from his own penalty area. Nobody challenged him. He just wandered right up to the edge of the Preston penalty area and unleashed a shot that beat Andy Lonergan. And Middlesbrough have had several chances after that to put this game to bed, but none of them have been taken. And then they were just shocked by North End, crossing from the right-hand side, and Middlesbrough didn't defend, and with a stooping header at the far post, Billy Jones scored his 4th of the season to level it. It's Borough 1, Preston 1.
Let's check in with Ivan Gask at the Walker Stadium. We couldn't get enough of you in the first half, Ivan.
Well, we can never get enough of you, Gabby, and I'm very glad you've joined me because it's all been happening here. 5 minutes, or inside the last 5 minutes, and Leicester leading 4-2 and Millwall down to 10 men. Leicester were 3-1 up at the break and really cruising, playing some great stuff. Dyer, Yakubu and Bambo, with the latter two making their home debuts to the African internationals, had scored the goals. At Millwall's Henry with a fine goal after Morrison had missed a penalty for Millwall. All inside the first 10 minutes, that lot. At half-time then 3-1. Leicester then took a while to steady the ship. Then a really mad minute. 2 penalties in one incident denied by Leicester, and at the other end, as they counter-attacked, Millwall were given one. Jack Smith scored it. The locals were outraged, and then, perhaps to even things up, Askew was dismissed. He's just joined Millwall on loan from Norwich. He'll have a bit of time to watch them in the next couple of weeks. He was off for a foul from the free kick. Big Sol Bamba scored his second on his home debut. Instant hero. Leicester lead 4-2.
Fair to say Garth is still incandescent about Piquion's
Gabby, you saw
sending off. I did, and I know what you're saying, and we'll talk about it in a moment, but there's a penalty at Oakwell, and Harry Grace is going to tell us all about it.
Yes, Swansea have equalised. It's a controversial penalty. Luke Steele brought one of the Swansea players down, but Scott Sinclair very coolly sent Luke Steele the wrong way. I have to say, I don't think they really deserve to be on level terms because they've not played particularly well, but it's a vital point, possibly, for Swansea. Scott Sinclair makes it 1-1.
If things stay as they are, you've got Cardiff, Swansea and Norwich all on 47 points. So tight at the top of the Championship. Let's go to League One, though, to John Anderson at the Valley. Chris Powell's first match as boss there today. How's it going at the moment?
He's going to be celebrating because they've just taken a 2-0 lead in the final minute of the 90. And it's come from Nathan Eccleston on loan from Liverpool and on his home debut for Charlton. A really well taken goal to a good run forward and a precise right foot finish low into the corner. Game over it seems. Charlton 2, Plymouth 0.
Could be a big win for Bournemouth this afternoon. Andy Barwell is at the Fitness First.
Yes, they lead by a goal to nil against the league leaders. It's caretaker boss Lee Bradbury's first home game in charge. A well-taken goal as well from Liam Feeney separates the two teams. Good work down the left by Wiggins and Pugh. A deep cross, picked out Feeney, who fired home. Gus Poyet's reaction was to make a triple substitution for Brighton to try and get back into this. He's brought on top scorer Glenn Murray, and he has missed a sitter. Bournemouth still hanging on. They lead by a goal to nil.
And it would be Brighton's fourth defeat of the season. Let's go to the Matchroom Stadium. Sheffield Wednesday have been on the slide lately, and it's looking like it's not going to be halted today, Tony Lockwood. Leyton Orient in it for 3 points at the moment.
Sheffield Wednesday are simply falling apart. 4 second-half goals conceded. The first from the penalty swap, swept home by Ben Shawley, and it went from bad to worse for 2,500 travelling fans. Harry Kane stole in unmarked to Sidefoot home, Orient second. Alex Ravel headed the third from a set piece. Mapoko drove home the fourth, and Alan Irvine is under increasing pressure. It's Orient 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
It's all over at the Emirates. 3 points for Arsenal and a great day for Van Persie. Roger Johnson.
Yes, it finished Arsenal 3, Wigan 0. Gabby, Robin Van Persie scored a hat-trick and missed a penalty as Arsenal swept Wigan aside. The visitors' most notable contribution, a brilliant first-half goalkeeping display by Ali Al-Habsi, who made a string of fine saves. Twice Van Persie ghosted away from the Wigan defence to finish smartly. He then blasted the penalty embarrassingly over after Gary Caldwell had been sent off for tripping Fabregas. But not to be denied, Van Persie was teed up by Walcott to claim the match ball. Wigan's travelling fans probably predicted this. You could almost count them on an afternoon that their team never looked like scoring. It finished at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Wigan Athletic 0.
2 late goals. The first one at Goodison Park. Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, Marouane Fellaini has just equalised for Everton. The ball broke to him in the box and he fired it unerringly past Rob Green. Really tough on West Ham, who've battled throughout this game. But it's now Everton 2, West Ham 2.
And now let's go to St James's Park because a last-minute equaliser there as well. Steve Sutton.
Yes, Gabby, it's Newcastle 1, Spurs 1. I'm sorry, I can't resist it. Harry Redknapp mugged in Madrid. Has his side picked Newcastle's pockets in the 91st minute? Aaron Lennon stepping inside his man into the box and shooting just inside the post past Steve Harper. Newcastle 1, Spurs 1.
Oh, when you watch that one, if you're a Newcastle fan, on Match of the Day tonight, whistle has gone there. Jackie Oatley.
It is finished. Fulham 2, Stoke 0. Stoke playing most of the second half with 10 men after that sending off for Ryan Shawcross after he found Clint Dempsey in the box. Dempsey scored from the spot, his second goal of the game. He met Andy Johnson's cross for the first. Both sides hit the woodwork when it was 0-0. Duff for Fulham and Jones for Stoke. And Johnson could have made it 3 in the end for Fulham, but Begovic made the save. And Fulham now have done a 2-0 double over Stoke in the Premier League. And just for the record, there was a handshake between Pulis and Hughes at the final whistle. The first time in 3 meetings between the two sides this season. Fulham 2, Stoke 0.
New Year's resolution to do a bit of growing up, I think, from the 2 Welshmen there. Let's go to Celtic Park, and they've extended their lead at the top of the SPL, Ian Turner, with Rangers dropping points at lunchtime.
Yes, they have. It was nervy in the end, but Celtic managed to protect Anthony Stokes' first half goal and secure the points that take them 5 clear at the top of the SPL. Aberdeen really took the match to Neil Lennon's side in the last quarter, but up until then Celtic had the edge. Defeat again for the Dons at Celtic Park, but on the plus side, it was 8 goals better than last time. Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Final whistle's gone at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool couldn't find that last-minute equaliser, could they, James Mason?
They couldn't, no. With Darren Bent gone, Gabby, the relevant question asked by Sunderland fans prior to kick-off was who will score the goals to continue their upward momentum. The answer, of course, Kieran Richardson, an unlikely hero who scored his first and second goals of the season before half-time. Both were left-footed strikes. His second a fine. First time crisp finish after good work by Steve Malbronk out on the left. Charlie Adam, easily Blackpool's best player, did give the Seasiders hope of a comeback with a late penalty and twice came close from long range. But Blackpool's downward spiral is alarming. 4 defeats in 5, but for Sunderland it's 4 unbeaten. Blackpool 1, Sunderland 2.
And it's all over there. And Avram Grant must be feeling like, what's he got to do to get 3 points, Richard Askham?
He really must be, Gabby. It was a spirited display from Avram Grant's side, who bossed large parts of this game. The excellent Scott Parker, just the resilient influence they needed. And after they twice took a deserved lead through Jonathan Spector and then Freddie Pickey on a first win at Goodison Park, for 6 years looked on the cards. But despite misfiring, Everton kept plugging away and got their reward. Diniar Billy letting off, firing in a cracker from just inside the box with their first. Marouane Fellaini, their second in added time. It's the Blues' 12th draw of the season. Hard to take, though, for the Hammers, who were excellent today.
But they're still rock bottom, Garth.
No thanks to Peter Walton. I never thought I would see anyone get sent off for over-celebrating a goal. Scores 2-1 away from home. You spend all week trying to achieve scoring a goal.
That's a question, because he wasn't the only player that went into the crowd there.
No, Fellaini, who actually equalised, went over to the crowd.
But he was the only one that got
and
booked.
just about checked himself. He was going to jump in the crowd as well, checked himself and turned around. And I think the referee was quite relieved because he would have had to have done the same. The point is, you've got to assess the emotion of the game. And I can't believe I'm sitting next to an ex-professional footballer who also thinks that celebrating deserves a sending off.
You can celebrate on the pitch. I mean, Piquet scores a goal, thinks it's the winner. He jumps over the barrier. I mean, he has to jump like 3 feet and 4 feet out to get over there.
It'll be
the silly action.
If you can defend Robbie Savage throwing his boots on the ground earlier on, but you can't defend a professional in that situation, you surprise me.
So, bit of frustration, but knowingly scoring the goal, if you jump over there, you're going to get a card. And he's already received a card, which means he goes off.
Well, the facts
if you score the winning goal in the 90th minute and you take your shirt off and run around the pitch...
So you endorse the sending off?
I say, for consistency, yes.
I never thought I'd hear the day.
Well, they take a point back to London when it was so nearly 3. Let's go to Jason Mohammed at the Cardiff City Stadium. A good result for the Bluebirds.
Very much so, but Watford's quest to equal a club record of 7 consecutive league wins, Gabby, is over, but they went down with an admirable fight. If Will Buckley and Danny Graham had taken their chances, went in on goal, they could have created history, but Cardiff City brought out the big guns today. Jay Bothroyd, Craig Bellamy and Michael Chopra were always going to give Watford problems, but when Bothroyd went off injured, worryingly, Cardiff once again lacked invention. So cue Gabor Gipesh, the Hungarian centre-half, to seal a much-needed win. Fabulous game, terrific advert for the Championship. Cardiff City 4, Watford 2.
To Fratton Park, Tony Husband, how long have you got to play?
2.5 minutes left to play in this one, but we have lost the lights again, Gabby. This is the second power cut of the afternoon. And as I say, it comes very, very close to the finale of this game, but it is too dark, you would feel now, for there to be any way to resume the game if they don't get the lights back on. We'd had 12 minutes play since the last floodlight failure, but now with an agonising 2.5 minutes to play and the score level at 2-2, the lights out again, and there could be some doubt as to whether this game will finish.
Oh, how frustrating. Let's go to Bramall Lane. Alan Biggs, how's it finished there?
It's finished in a 2-1 win for Norwich over Sheffield United. Still no win for Mickey Adams. My word, his side deserved at least a point in this one. They put Norwich under the cosh for most of the game, but a great effort of resilience again from the Canaries. 2 goals for Andrew Crofts, either side of Ched Evans' equaliser. Both Norwich goals came from corners. The first award was disputed. There were claims from it. The United keeper Simonson was fouled, but 2 great finishes from Crofts, especially the second dispatched from 20 yards, and it's Sheffield United 1, Norwich 2.
And it's all over at Oakwell. Harry Gratian.
Rough justice this for Barnsley, Gabby. A debatable penalty when Luke Steele brought down Scott Sinclair. He then coolly scored from the penalty spot. Harsh decision, many people thought. Bobby Hassel had given Barnsley the lead in the first half. Swansea so nearly nicked it in the dying seconds. 1-1.
OK, let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
In the Barclays Premier League, we have Arsenal 3, Wigan Athletic 0. Aston Villa and Manchester City kick off at 5:30. Blackpool 1, Sunderland 2. Everton 2, West Ham United 2. Fulham 2, Stoke City 0. Manchester United 5, Birmingham City 0. Newcastle United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And Wolves 0, Liverpool 3. In the N-Power Championship, Barnsley 1, Swansea City 1. Cardiff City 4, Watford 2. Crystal Palace 0, Bristol City 0. Derby County 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Ipswich Town 3, Doncaster Rovers 2. Leicester City 4, Millwall 2. Middlesbrough 1, Preston North End 1. And as you heard just now with lights problems, it's Portsmouth 2, Leeds United 2 with about another 2.5 minutes to play, I gather, sometime. Reading 1, Hull City 1. Scunthorpe United and Burnley kick off in about 20 minutes past 5. Sheffield United 1, Norwich City 2. The N-Power League 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Bristol Rovers 3, Swindon Town 1. Charlton Athletic 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Milton Keynes Dons 1. Exeter City 2, Walsall 1. Huddersfield Town 0, Colchester United 0. Leyton Orient 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Notts County 0, Carlisle United 1. Oldham Athletic 2, Brentford 1. Peterborough United 4, Hartlepool United 0. Tranmere Rovers 2, Southampton 0. Yeovil Town 0, Rochdale 1. In League 2, Accrington Stanley's match with Hereford United postponed. Aldershot Town 3, Crewe Alexandra 2. Bradford City's match with Burton Albion postponed. Macclesfield Town 1, Barnet 1. Northampton Town 2, Oxford United 1. Port Vale 0, Cheltenham Town 1. Shrewsbury Town 0, Chesterfield 0. Stevenage 2, Morecambe 0. Stockport County 3, Lincoln City 4. Torquay United 1, Gillingham 1. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Rotherham United 0. In the Blue Square Premier, AFC Wimbledon 5, Southport 0. Altrincham 0, Bath City 3. Cambridge United 1, Wrexham 3. Fleetwood Town 1, Hayes and Yeading United 1. Grimsby Town 0, Crawley Town 0. Kettering Town 3, Eastbourne Borough 0. Kidderminster 2, Barrow 0. Luton Town 2, Gateshead 2. Mansfield Town 1, Histon 0. Newport County 1, Rushton and Diamonds 3. Tamworth 1, Darlington 1. And York City 2, Forest Green Rovers 1. In the Clydesdale Scottish Premier League, Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0. Hearts 1, Rangers 0. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Hamilton Academical 1. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 1. Motherwell 2, Hibernian 0. And St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 0. The Ironbury Scottish Division 1, Cowdenbeath's match with Partick Thistle among postponements because of weather effects on pitches. Dundee 1, Falkirk 0. Queen of the South and Ross County another postponement. Wraith Rovers 2, Greenock Morton 2. And Stirling Albion and Dunfermline Athletic a third postponement. In Div 2, Scotland, Ayr United 2, Peterhead 2. Brechin City and Alloa Athletic, East Fife and Dumbarton. Livingstone and Forfar Athletic, all matches postponed. Stenhousemuir 1, Airdrie United 0. And in Scottish Div 3, Arbroath and East Stirlingshire and Clyde and Albion Rovers, both matches postponed. Elgin City 2, Stranraer 1. Montrose 0, Annan Athletic 1. And Queen's Park 1, Berwick Rangers 0. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United's match with Crusaders postponed. Cliftonville 2, Linfield 4. And Coleraine and Portadown, Glenavon, Lisbon Distillery, Glentoran, Donegal Celtic and Newry City and Dungannon Swifts, all those matches postponed.
So just one late, well, it wasn't so much a late kick-off as it was delayed because of a floodlight failure twice in the match at Fratton Park between Portsmouth and Leeds United at 2-2. They've started playing again with about 2 minutes to go, so we might yet get the full-time score while we're still on air. OK, let's have a little look at the tables now, starting with the Premier League. Manchester United's lead now 2 points, but their City rivals will move alongside them if they beat Villa in the evening kick-off. Arsenal gain ground on both Chelsea, who play on Monday, and Tottenham. A point for West Ham, not enough to take them off the bottom despite defeat for Wolves. The bottom three unchanged, with Wigan also losing. Aston Villa can move above their West Midlands rivals Birmingham and West Brom with a win this evening. And for the Championship, Cardiff move into second, 2 points behind the leaders QPR, who host Coventry tomorrow. Watford slip out of the playoff places with Nottingham Forest up to 6th spot, thanks to that Derby win in the early evening kick-off. And the early afternoon kick-off, sorry. And there's no change in the bottom three. Preston still rooted to the foot of the table, 2 points adrift of Scunthorpe, who host Burnley in the evening kick-off. And Paul Jewell's first win as Ipswich boss sees them move up 1 place to 19th. To League Two now, and the leaders Chesterfield held to a draw. Wickham have narrowed the gap to 3 points. Sorry, we're on League One, and I was reading League Two, sorry. Brighton hold on to top spot despite their defeat at Bournemouth, who jump up to second. Defeat for Southampton sees them drop to fourth. The MK Dons' late win at Dagenham and Redbridge maintains their playoff push. No change in the bottom four. Walsall rooted to the bottom, although Bristol Rovers gave their survival hopes a huge boost with that win over fellow strugglers Swindon. Let's go to League Two. Well, you know, don't you? The leaders Chesterfield were held to a draw, and Wickham have narrowed the gap to 3 points. Rotherham third despite defeat this afternoon. Shrewsbury drew, not enough to take them above Port Vale and Crewe. At the bottom, Lincoln still prop up the Football League despite only being the only winners above the bottom 10 this afternoon. Hereford's game at Accrington was postponed because of a frozen pitch. And the Blue Square Premier League, AFC Wimbledon returned to the top of the Blue Square thanks to that comfortable win over Southport. Crawley slipping to second spot. Wrexham, the only team in the playoff places who managed to take 3 points today. No change in the bottom four. Hayes, the only one who managed to pick up any points this afternoon. And let's have a little look at the SPL. And, well, Hearts deal a blow to Rangers' title hopes with that victory in the early kick-off as Celtic extend their lead at the top of the table to 5 points. Hibs drop 1 place to 11th following that defeat at Motherwell. Hamilton remain rooted to the bottom of the table despite that encouraging draw at Inverness. My filing system was failing me this afternoon. I'm sorry about that. Here are the main headlines from the Premier League today. Arsenal 3, Wigan 0. Robin's good. Van Persie scores all 3 of Arsenal's goals to ensure his penalty miss doesn't really matter. Wigan end the game with 10 men after Gary Caldwell was sent off. Newcastle, West Ham 2. West Ham twice losing the lead as they settle for a point at Goodison Park. Piquion's late goal looked to have won it for the division's bottom club, but Fellaini nicked the goal and the draw for Everton. Wolves 0. Blackpool 1, Sunderland 2. No bother for Sunderland. Kieran Richardson's first half double, his first goal of the season, put the visitors in control before a Charlie Adams penalty ensured a nervy finish. And it was Fulham 2, Stoke 0. The rival managers putting their differences aside with a handshake before the game, but Fulham's Clint Dempsey was the difference on the pitch with a goal in each half. Messrs Hansen and Shearer will join Gary on the sofa for Match of the Day tonight, 10:30 on BBC One. Right after that, it's the Football League show with Manish. That comes on at 11:50. And, well, plenty of football to be seen on the BBC this evening. And you can also have your say on 606 there, 0500 909 693. Your highlights of the day, Garth?
West Ham's performance at Everton and Peter Walton's shameful decision sending off Piquion today in that same game.
2 players scored a hat-trick, 3 players scored a brace, 22 goals in 7 games.
It was a great afternoon, wasn't it? Promised a lot, it delivered. That's it from all of us here on BBC One. We're going to the red button. Join us if you want to hear your manager giving his opinions. Bye-bye.